to an update on a horticultural whodunit that's baffled tomato growers and police in North Queensland for 10 years. You might recall that saboteurs have struck the tomato seedling industry at Bowen 4 times, causing tens of millions of dollars worth of damage to one of the country's key vegetable nurseries. In the 12 months since the last attack, growers have replanted and dramatically upped their security surveillance. And although the community's been buzzing with speculation on who's behind it, police so far have made no arrests.
Whoever did this act, karma will get them eventually.
I think at the end of the day, we're always going to be asking the same question, who and why?
On a winter's day in Bowen, these young fruit and vegetable plants are being sent to farms all around the region. Today, this seedling nursery is thriving, but this time last year it was a very different story.
Our investigations indicate that access has been gained into one of the water lines that supply the pump systems. Once that access has been gained, the poison's been distributed through the pumping system, through a number of various tanks, including fertiliser tanks, and then the distribution system to the entire seedling factory from here through the main lines.
We lost all our stock, which was 7 million seedlings, and it was worth 1.2 million, which was a cost we had to accurately calculate for the police.
The owner, Toss Eisman, says it took more than a week for the disaster to emerge.
Some had already been sent to the farms and they died on the farms after being planted by the farmers. We had to then immediately contact growers and let them know that there was a problem and that their seedling supply for the next month or 5 to 6 weeks would not be available to them, which they took fairly badly, not angrily at us, but just so disappointed, and because it was a big blow for them as well as a blow for us. That was all our savings. And I was planning to retire in a couple of years, so I might have to prolong that a little. We were lost for the first 3 months, and my partner and I, we were really stressed. But we got our way, worked our way through it, had a pretty dismal Christmas, and then after that got back to work. Once we got back to work, we were fine.
Toss Eisman is starting again. He's back selling seedlings that will eventually supply the nation's supermarket shelves with fresh produce.
We were very apprehensive when we started, but once everything fell into line, we were able to get moving and finally put everything behind us.
The most troubling aspect of this case is that it's the 4th time someone has hit the local horticultural industry, starting with sabotage at Queensland Seedlings back in 2002.
He lost a widespread number of seeds in the order of about 6 million plants on that occasion. In 2005, we had a poison which was introduced into a spraying rig at a local farm, which resulted in 30 acres of crops being poisoned when that sprayed rig was utilised. And then in 2006, we also had a quantity of poison introduced into an aerial spraying rig.
Who spiked the salad bowl? That's the question Bowen farmers are asking after sabotage has poisoned 40 hectares of fruit and vegetable crops.
Do you believe all these recent poisonings in Bowen are related?
We're treating them as though they are to ensure that we can encapsulate all the information and make sure we haven't missed anything in the investigation of our current matter.
So you could have a serial saboteur?
We certainly haven't ruled that out.
It could be that somebody wants the price of horticultural products to go up, which is all supply and demand. So if you take out half the supply for the Bowen district, it definitely does start to make it look viable for the person or persons who did it.
The biggest change since the crop sabotage is the level of security. Fences now surround the property and 24-hour camera surveillance protects the produce and the watering system.
I was probably a little bit nonchalant about this happening. And now all of a sudden I've caught up, all of a sudden I'm in the 21st century and discovered that this is what you have to do.
And he's not the only one taking steps to safeguard his crops.
The paranoia is still there, and I think it will be there for a long time, unfortunately. A lot of us have got more locks on. I personally got a lot more security cameras around the place. We got locks on gates, which we never had before, and he had chains. Now we've got locks there to stop people driving around. And that's sad.
We could sit here and say, yeah, it was tough on us, but it was also tough on the people we employ. It was tough on the people that service us in the service industry, and it was also tough on the whole town. There wasn't just one person in the chain here that got affected. Everybody in the whole chain got affected.
Jamie Jurgens was one of the farmers who bought contaminated seedlings, and 700,000 of his plants wilted in the ground. The family now goes to great lengths to keep their operation running.
We grew gourmet tomatoes, which we were able to grow the bush, keep growing the bush a little bit longer. The quality wasn't as good, and the quantity wasn't as good either, but we were able to keep some of our orders going and keep some of our staff, that mean a lot to us, keep them employed, keep food on their tables.
Bowen is the nation's largest winter fruit and vegetable growing region, and tomatoes are one of its biggest crops.
Our farmers are the real survivors. They adjust to all sorts of variables in their growing season, whether it be due to climate, pests, market conditions. They're a very adaptable community and a group of people, and I think in this instance they really proved that what good operators they were.
Tos Eisman says he's prepared to put the poisoning mystery behind him.
We've had a year of disasters right up the east coast where you start to think to yourself, am I so badly done by? So that doesn't make it go away, but it does make you stop feeling sorry for yourself, and I think I was there for quite a while.
As something that's happened to our industry, I still feel just as angry about it today as I did the day it happened. Until we get the question answered, why would someone do it? Until we get that question answered, you probably, that anger's always going to burn there. But saying that, we get on. We take every day as it comes, and every new crop that we have, and we're grateful for the opportunities we do have in our industry. That's for